Hi everybody, I'm here in Tampa International Airport and I'm waiting to start a very long journey. I'm going to be flying about 22 hours today, going to the other side of the world, flying to Asia. And as a lot of you guys know, I have 2 herniated discs in my back, and for those of you that suffers from back pain, you will know that the sound of even like 1 hour on an airplane is a complete nightmare. So I've come up with a few tips on how to make it through a long flight with back pain, and so I'm going to take you from start to finish on my journey. So just a couple tips of some things to pack to bring on the plane with you. Now, I know it's like, oh, you don't want to lug all this stuff around the airport, but trust me, you're going to thank me just for bringing these 3 items. So the first thing you want to bring is a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, just go to Target or Ross or whatever. You can get them for like $5, $6, $7. Or if it's last minute, you can use a belt from your closet. So just any type of long strap that you can use, and I'll show you guys how to use this in a minute. Then the second thing you want to bring is just a towel from home. A lot of people bring these fancy back cushions and all these things that you inflate and stuff like that, and I just think it's too bulky. I like to bring a towel on the plane because I can fold it in different ways to conform to my body on the seat. You can sit on it, you can put it in your lower back, you can roll it up and put it behind the neck. So you can change positions throughout the flight using your handy towel. No need for expensive cushions, and when you get to your destination, you can just throw it out. And third item, of course, everybody's favorite, a nice little light yoga mat. You can get some yoga mats from Manduka, you can get a Lulu mat. They make travel ones that are pretty expensive, but they're really nice. I chose to just get a yoga mat from yogaaccessories.com, and if I get sick of carrying it around when I'm traveling, I can just ditch it. But this, it's nice and light, and I can just throw it over my shoulder on the plane. So I'm here early for my flight, being a responsible traveler, so I'm going to take advantage of this hour or 2 that I have before my plane takes off, and I'm going to do some stretches just to prepare my body for sitting for a long time. So the reason we get the back pain is all of these muscles get really, really tight when we're sitting. The hips, the legs, the front and the backs of the legs, the shoulders. Everything needs to be loosened up before we go and sit. Now before your flight, before you're traveling, you should be doing some back strengthening exercises to prepare for your travel. So don't think you can just stretch before your flight and you're gonna not have any back pain. You need to really prepare days in advance, weeks in advance before you travel, and do some back strengthening exercises to strengthen your back muscles. So you guys can watch my other videos which teach about back strengthening exercises, and you can practice those at home. I'm just going to show you some little pre-boarding stretches to start off. So you want to just lay on your back, and we're going to prepare for wind removal pose. So you're just going to lay on your back, very easy, just bring the right knee into the chest. Flex this left foot nice and strong. And then just switch legs. Bring the left knee into the chest, remembering to breathe nice and deep. You should be able to feel your stomach breathing against the top of your thigh. And just relax. More than muscle tightness, stress is going to cause you even more unnecessary pain. So it's important to relax, be happy about your traveling. Stress is gonna cause tightness, so just breathe and relax. All right, so then we're gonna flip on, and we're gonna do some cat-cows. We're gonna warm up the spine and separate those vertebrae. So just doing some basic cat-cows. Warming up the spine. And then coming to a neutral spine, and then kicking the right leg out behind you, and then reaching forward with the left arm. Looking straight ahead, and you're really kicking and reaching in 2 opposite directions, really stretching out your spine. And then release it down, and then just do the opposite leg and opposite arm. Really looking forward, stretching forward, like you're reaching for the wall in front of you, and really kicking the wall behind you. So you're stretching your spine in 2 opposite directions. You're building some warmth and some strength in the back. Then release it down, then do a couple more cat-cows. Another really good stretch just to release the tailbone, release the hips, release the lower back. This might be even a good stretch to do after you've gotten off of your flight or maybe during a layover. All right, so if you've already created a bunch of tension in the hips and the thighs, you want to just stand about hip width apart, maybe a little wider. Then you're going to turn your toes out at an angle, ever so slightly. And you're just going to put your hands at heart center just for balance, and you're going to slowly lower down into a nice deep squat. So if you can make it down this far with your hands still at heart center, you can just use your elbows to press those knees away from the body. Keep a nice straight spine. Keep your head level, facing straight forward. And just breathe here and just relax and let the tailbone fall towards the ground. If you can't come down this low, you're welcome to just put your hands here and support yourself. But what we're doing is just releasing all this tension right here. So some of you might be embarrassed to bust this pose out in the middle of a public airport, but if you go to some places in Southeast Asia or India, people just chill on the sidewalk like this all day long. They don't use chairs, they just kind of sit like this because it's so relaxing on the body. So once you try it a couple times, you won't care what people think. You're gonna love this comfortable stretch. So stay in this posture as long as you want, and when you're ready to come up, just simply power through the bottoms of your feet. So you're just going to press into the yoga mat with your feet and just push yourself on up. And then maybe walk the legs out a little bit, reach up to the sky, give a nice stretch, and feel revived. So now you want to get your belt or your strap, and you're just going to hold it in a nice U shape, with one side with each hand. It's laying flat on your back, feet nice and flexed, and your legs are engaged, so they're nice and tight. Your feet are so flexed that the heels might be lifting up off the mat a little bit. All right, so then you're gonna bring your right knee into your chest, just like we did in wind removal pose. You're gonna take your strap and place it on the ball of the bottom of the foot, not on the toes, not on the arch. You're gonna have it right on the ball mound of the foot. All right, so you're gonna hug that knee into your chest, and then you're gonna straighten the leg up towards the ceiling, and you're causing tension by pulling down on the strap with your hands. So you're just gonna breathe here for a minute, and then you can pull that leg towards your face a little bit, just to get a nice stretch in the back of the leg. It's really important to get these leg muscles and just stretched out, because that's what's gonna be tugging on that back later on the plane. So making sure that you keep your both hips flat against the mat, you can just start to let that leg fall over to the side. You can look in the opposite direction if you want a little extra twist. Remember to keep your foot flexed and really push through the heel of the foot, so you're getting a nice strong stretch right here. Bring it back to the center. If you want to do a couple little circles just to feel that hip joint loosening up, you can. And then bringing your leg back to center, and then we're going to let it fall over to the other side, opening the hips up and out, and just letting that leg hover about an inch over the ground. You can move it around if you want. Just feeling those hips open up. And then bring it back to the center. And I'm going through these a little bit quickly. I suggest doing 5 breaths in each leg position, because then your body really gets a chance to relax. You can do 10 breaths if that's good for you, at least minimal 5 though, to really get a good effect. But I'm just going through it quickly, and so you get an idea of what to do. So just bring that leg towards you, then back to the center, then grab the straps with one hand, cross that leg over the front of the body, making sure this hip doesn't come up too much off the mat. Looking in opposite directions if you want to, or looking straight ahead. And then bring that leg back to the center. Do a couple little hip circles. Bring it back to neutral, and then let it fall out to the side. Hovering over the ground about an inch. Keep it stable, or you can move it around. Just enjoy this nice open feeling. And then bring it back to center. You're gonna Bend your knee back into your chest to release it so you're not reaching forward or doing any kind of forward bending. Just lift your head up, remove the strap, and then release the feet back down. And after you do the stretching, you want to just lay and let the spine become neutral for a minute or two. Okay. And one last stretch that you can do is just, again, laying on your back with your knees pointed up towards the ceiling, feet nice and flat on the ground. You don't even have to have a yoga mat for some of these postures. You can just lay a towel down, or if you want to wing it, just lay on the floor. Depends where you are. Anyway, you want to lay your hands flat down on the mat. Your fingertips should be grazing the backs of your heels, so that way you know your legs are in the right position. You're going to pigeon toe your toes in a little bit so that your knees are close together. And then you're just going to lift your hips up towards the ceiling, tucking your chin in, pushing up into a gentle bridge. Staying for a couple breaths here, and then just releasing it back down. So you're going to go through a couple of these. You're going to inhale your hips up towards the ceiling, tucking your chin to the chest. And then exhale, release the hips down. We'll do one more. Inhale the hips up towards the ceiling. If you want to clasp your hands together beneath your body and tuck your shoulder blades in, just to push that chest and belly up towards the ceiling a little bit more for a deeper stretch, you can do that. Just make sure you stay looking forward. Don't move your head side to side. Protect your neck. Breathe here. And then release the hands. Let the shoulders slide back onto the mat. And then slowly release the spine back onto the mat. Maybe give yourself a little hug. Rock back and forth. And then stretch out and relax. Thanks for watching. Happy travels, everyone.